I remember the exact moment everything was taken from me. It wasn't loud or dramatic, no shouting, no chaos, just the quiet click of a pen and the soft murmur of approval around a boardroom table. By the time I understood what had happened, it was already over. Victor Hale, my mentor and business partner, stood across from me with a satisfied smile and said, "Congratulations, Daniel. The company is yours." But it wasn't mine anymore. It had been mine once, the idea, the work, the sleepless nights, but in that moment, I realized it had all been quietly taken from me. 3 years earlier, I had nothing but a prototype and a belief that bordered on obsession. Victor had everything I lacked: money, influence, and experience. When he offered to help me build my company, I trusted him completely. He encouraged me to focus on innovation while he handled the legal and financial side of things. I was too eager, too naive to question anything. By the time the company succeeded, the structure he had built ensured that I had no real ownership left. I had unknowingly signed away my control. What surprised everyone, including Victor, was that I didn't fight back. I didn't file a lawsuit or try to expose him publicly. Instead, I walked away quietly. People thought I had given up, that I had accepted defeat. Even my own family questioned my silence. But I wasn't surrendering, I was waiting. Victor had made one critical mistake. In working so closely with him, I had learned exactly how he thought. I understood his strengths, but more importantly, I understood his blind spots. Victor believed he was always the smartest person in the room, and that belief made him predictable. So instead of reacting emotionally, I chose patience. Months later, a new startup began to emerge in the market. It looked modest, almost unremarkable, but its structure was strikingly similar to the company Victor had taken from me. He noticed it, of course, but dismissed it as imitation. What he didn't realize was that the startup was part of a carefully designed plan. I wasn't publicly involved. Instead, I worked behind the scenes with Maya, a former colleague of Victor's who had her own reasons for wanting to see him fall. She was brilliant and, crucially, someone Victor had always underestimated. Together, we built something that appeared to be competition but was actually much more strategic. While her company grew steadily, Victor's began to falter, not in obvious ways, but through small, consistent missteps. Victor relied heavily on automated systems and predictive analytics systems I had originally designed. While I no longer had direct access to them, I understood their behavior intimately. By subtly influencing market signals through Maya's company, we were able to nudge his decision-making processes just enough to lead him off course. Each shift was small, almost invisible, but over time they compounded into significant errors. As his company weakened, Maya's strengthened. Eventually, Victor reached out to me. He was no longer the confident figure I once knew. He seemed tired and uncertain. He admitted that he had misjudged me and offered me a chance to return as his partner. I accepted, knowing that this was the final stage of the plan. For 3 months, I worked alongside him again, appearing to help stabilize the company. In reality, I was setting the stage for the final move. While rebuilding trust with investors and improving operations on the surface, I was quietly enabling Maya's company to acquire shares slowly, carefully, and without drawing attention. The end came during a routine board meeting. Victor began presenting what he believed was a recovery, but I interrupted him. I presented the documents that revealed the truth. Maya's company had gained majority ownership. Every step had been approved under Victor's authority, guided by the very systems he trusted and the decisions he believed were his own. In that moment, he finally understood. The control he thought he had maintained was gone. Maya entered the room as the new CEO, calm and composed, while Victor was left in stunned silence. When he asked if this was revenge, I told him it wasn't. It was balance. I walked away again, but this time on my own terms. Years earlier, Victor had taught me that talent alone wasn't enough, that survival required understanding the game. I had taken that lesson seriously. I had learned, adapted, and waited for the right moment. Later that evening, as I stood overlooking the city, I reflected on everything that had happened. The anger and betrayal were gone, replaced by something quieter and more satisfying. The story had come full circle, and the ending felt right. The sweetest kind of revenge isn't loud or immediate. It doesn't come from destruction or confrontation. It comes from patience, from precision, and from letting the other person believe they've won until the moment they realize they never truly did.